Okay, welcome back. CIS 130. This is using BASIC to append information to a text file that already exists. So this is the third video in a series of 4, but 5 assignments, and this one will show you how to add information to a file that's already been created. And so if you would keep in mind that there is a helper file right here, file IO for scripts 22 through 25, that's available for you. If you look at that, you'll actually find the code that you can use to create the script file that you're going to do. And we know so far script 22 and 23, both of them have videos attached, and you'll find that there's a link like this once I do publish the video for script 24 and script 25. Script 24, in this case, what we're looking at is we would like to append information into a file. For us, when we say append, what we mean is add to. And so an appendage, for example, this seems to be an added part to otherwise primary form. In this case, the form is a text file, and what we have is we have a text file that we created in script number 22, we opened and read in script number 23, and now we'd like to add something to it in script 24. And so what happens is that we'd like to add something on. This one, I can see that this is improper right now for script 23, this will be 22. And so we'll make a next line call to append the information in, and then of course close the file. So we're going to append this information in, write 3 strings in there, open a file, does not overwrite data, close the file. So we're going to write the algorithm in for using a file, which is open a file, append mode does not write over data, and then close the file. So we write these 3 lines in. Let's do our work here by going back to where we were. This was script 23, and so I'm going to update it, and at this point we had a read info on the last one. At this point I'm guessing go sub append data is where we're going to be. And so I'm going to take append data, and again I'm going to go down into my list of subroutines down here, and I'm going to go ahead and create that stub for our subroutine. And if I remember from before, I have, sorry Greg, didn't mean to show your work there, grading while I'm in between these. And so what I have is for append, I have these files right here. These are my file calls for append, and I'll bring them back over here into BASIC, and I'm going to drop them in right here like this. Okay. What I'm looking at for an append here is the same thing as I did when I was doing an input, or when I was writing. I still am using write, and I've still got this file handle right here as my file handle, same one that I used to open and same one that I close. But if you notice in here, what I'm looking for in this, which is append, it doesn't happen on the write line. I can write and write and write as much as I want on here. I can write, I can write, I can write, but my write is the exact same as if I'd opened this file or created this file brand new. The append up here in the mode area is what's different. So over here in my script 24, I wanted to write 3 strings of data. And I'm going to grab them right here. I'll go over into this. And so one of the strings that I wanted to write to this file was this right here. Let's close the file. I'm going to cut that guy, bring it back over here, and I'll paste it right in here. Another string that I wanted to have in this file was this string. Append mode does not overwrite data. And then the first string that I wanted to have in this text file was this one right here, which is open a file. Okay. Get rid of all the rest of that stuff. That's all I really want here in this. This open get file for append, if I cut it from there, it goes in the open file. Down here, we had done this a long time ago, and this was the initial for 22. I'm going to move this like that. I'm just going to drop this in here. I'm going to leave the 3 on here because I like the idea that 3 is my append on this. I no longer call it as 2, and I'm no longer doing input. At this point, I'm doing an append. On script 22 right here, I'm writing 3 pieces of data. Open a file. Append mode does not override, and close this. I return, and then on my close down here, I'm no longer closing 2, but I'm closing 3, because that's the name of my file handle at this point is close number 3. That's my close handle at this point. The first time I opened this one, I was writing with a file handle 1, and you can see the right file on there. The second time I was writing as a file handle 2, and you can see my 2's. This time is my third, and I'm opening it as an append. This is a mode. And if you notice, the first time we opened it for input was the mode, and then we opened it for a read and a write. Our mode changes in terms of what we want on this one. Okay, so for append is the mode that I'm opening this for, and I'm going to append data. I call append between open and close. I'm going to write these 3 lines, and when I run this, I should get nothing from it, is what I should get, a black screen. Ooh, I got an error, that's fun. So line 35 and line 15, line 16, line 17. I get the done, so it made it through. Line 15, line 16, line 17, did it say? So it looks like my write on here for 3 is coming through. That's append data. Let's just make sure that it's the same on there. Return. So something happened with my open. My file, which is script22.txt, open, get file for append is 3. And then I return out of there. So, append data close on 3. And what line did I get the error on? Let's find out. It's always something small. Remember, 35 is my first one, right there. So, open get file, there it is. My file versus get file. So I need to use the right name for this, and I'm going to update that, open my file, and I'll run this again. Notice it was the first error. There were 4 of them that were cascading through. Done is what I want. It's the last thing I print here, but I don't read that file. If you notice, when I ran that before, I had 4 errors, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I handle the first error, a lot of times what will happen is things will cascade away from that. The other errors will be solved when the first error is resolved. So this is append a file, and you don't get to see what's in it until the next one, I think. I think that script 25 is file copy, and we'll do some more. We'll read the information from this file, and you'll see that it's in it. But append is the same. We're just writing information to it, and the difference is that we call out this mode called append. So same thing goes. We have a file handle, which only works if we give it, of course, the correct file, and then our file handle here is what we used to do manipulation on the file, and then again what we do to close that file at the end. So I'll post this video and we'll move on to script 25.